As promised, folks, you know, there was Martin and Lewis, Abbott and Costello, you know, Diamond and Silk, but only here on this show.
Right here.
Right here.
Right here.
Didn't I tell you not to interrupt me?
I'm sorry.
See, that's the problem. I asked him right before. I said, don't interrupt the intro, right? Did you get the memo?
Uh-huh.
Oh, we got Comey's memo. I'm glad to be joined with Rhinestone and Burlap, a.k.a. Rick and Bruce.
A.k.a. the All-Star Panel.
All-Star Panel. How did you become Burlap?
I got tagged, you know.
Hashtag Burlap.
You're it. Well, this is our All-Star Panel. We always enjoy this time. We have about 40 minutes, and when we talk news stories, politics, what's going on throughout the week, 40 minutes may not cut it. First of all, while I have both of you together, I want to tell you how much I appreciate you filling in this past Monday on the show and making your debut as the newest, greatest, most watched coast-to-coast comedy actor.
There you go.
Yeah,
Bing, bada boom.
Yeah, he had just left California, so I know he had like a friend or somebody in the airport he told like watch. So it's coast to coast.
That's right. I've got my friends in Atlanta now. I mean, he was texting me this morning. You're going to be on? Absolutely, we'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah. We're happy to pitch in and help out, but you know, we would like HR to like get the contracts to us, please.
Yes, I know. Well, we had a meeting. Right afterwards, we had a meeting at the office. Okay, I don't want to get too serious, but let's get serious. Where do you want to go first? I mean, we have an inspector general that makes a referral to the Department of Justice for to look into McCabe criminally. We have bring in the Rudy Giuliani.
I loved your clip this morning.
Do you? Okay, let me say this. I watch the sensationalized, under the guise of bringing us news shows, okay? But are they missing the dots that are getting connected, or am I just out there?
No, they're not missing.
You heard my opening. Am I out there, or are they missing the dots?
They're not missing the dots. They just don't. Well, they just won't report it.
Yeah, they don't want to acknowledge the dots because that's bad for them.
I mean, could you put down, if we had the time and we had the chalkboard up here, and you go through that southern district of New York where a lot of this is going to go through, who better, former mayor, former U.S. attorney, okay, who better to navigate through the southern district for Donald Trump and probably knows how to really go in and wrap this up than Rudy Giuliani.
He was with me.
Or Michael Cohen, too. Huh? You know, or Michael Cohen. I mean...
Well, Cohen's out because he's basically, you know, he can't be the attorney now because of the situation with what he's been.
No, but I think Rudy's going to try and massage that situation.
Cohen?
Yeah.
Some out there might think it's wrong. You may think this is wrong. Obviously, I don't, so I'm about to tell you. I don't think it's wrong. I first and foremost don't feel Scooter Libby should have ever been convicted of anything.
No, right.
Yes or no?
Fall guy. Yeah.
Agree. All right, so we agree on that. We're 3 for 3. So Donald Trump didn't reach in. Now, we don't need to go back and look. You know, here's another. Oh, man, I might get worked up.
No. Don't get worked up on Friday. Okay. This is not work-up time.
But
save that for Monday through Thursday.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I'll try to say it in a calm tone. Look at the people that Barack Hussein Obama pardoned as he was walking out the door, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't have time to go into it. Look at the criminals that Bill Clinton, criminals that Bill Clinton pardoned going out the door. What was the one guy's name that was, or Susan, is it Susan McDougal?
Susan McDougal went to jail.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then later, did she not get pardoned later or something? I don't know. But
I'm sure she was on the list. Mark Rich was the big one.
Mark Rich. There you go. Thank you. I knew you were here for something, Burlap. Bring it home. Bring it home, Burlap. Mark Rich, right?
Yeah.
You are 100% right. Look at the criminals that these people have pardoned. Now, we all agree that Scooter Libby was at the Valerie Plame where she worked at a desk and he outed her, right?
Yes. Yeah.
No, he lied to the FBI.
He was less than candid.
Less than candid.
That's their term for lying.
Okay.
There was no candor there.
So Donald Trump pardons last week someone that we don't even think should have been convicted of anything. But if he did that in a sign to the other guys, I got your back. Am I wrong? I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I am too.
You okay with that?
Yeah, that was. That was.
I don't know why they make that leap every time. It's like, something happens and they go, oh, well, this sets the course of history for the next, 2 to 6 years. He's going to do this stuff left and right. Why do they think like that?
Well, but I for one think that Michael Cohen will not flip. I think he will be encouraged by Rudy Giuliani. Things will be worked through. And he knows no matter what Mueller does, no matter what they do, if they convict him of anything, Donald Trump will be behind him.
Yeah, and did you see Pencil Neck Geek Adam Schiff, what he's trying to do? He's trying to pass legislation. He's trying to introduce legislation that would say that Trump cannot pardon anybody that's involved in this whole thing.
Wait a minute. New rule. My ADD will not allow you to open up the Pencil Neck Geek and then go to Adam Schiff, okay? I can't stay focused, all right? Because now I'm thinking of every Pencil Neck Geek in high school, Could you easy? No. Okay, you walked right into something.
PNG. I'll call him a PNG.
All right, why do you think the Attorney General of the state of New York, we're connecting the dots. MSNBC, we might be a little show here in North Georgia, but we pay attention to it. MSNBC, CNN, the big George Stephanopoulos interview with James Comey. Mm-hmm. James Comey going on The View, a disgraced former. I mean, the worst J. Edgar Hoover did was wear a dress to dinner downstairs with his friend. You know what I mean? But he didn't go out in public. Was that wrong?
Borderline.
I mean, rumor has it if you read anything, okay? But Comey's out here on The View and everywhere in the world talking like, I shouldn't say, no, I'm not going to say talking like, anyhow.
Meghan McCain gave him a couple of good questions. She ripped him a little bit.
Well, here's the
other.
Yeah, that's all the letter, though.
Yeah. Getting back to the serious side of it, this will go through that Southern District of New York. All right, the federal court of the Southern District of New York.
So that's why Giuliani came in?
Well, not just that, but that's why the Attorney General, I think he knew that Trump had too many ties. Although there's this, Kimba Wood, the judge. Is anybody out there listening? Am I the only one? Pinch me if I'm living in an alternative.
Tell us about Kimba Woods.
She actually said the I do's with George Soros, 86, and his wife, 45, right?
Yeah.
I mean, am I living in bizarre?
Oh, listen.
Come on, judges can do that. It's okay.
Yeah, they could do that, but she was the judge that George Soros, and then Kimba Wood, former Playboy bunny, how can you spin that? I mean, we got Putin in an email. We got memo. Where the hell am I going with all this?
I don't know.
Don't get riled up. Let's go back to Rudy. Let's go back to Rudy.
We got Comey's memo where Putin's saying, Donald, we have the hookers, Donald. Donald, we have the best hook. We got that. So we're talking hookers. Then we got Stormy Daniels. We're talking porn stars. And then we have this, what's the girl's name? McDougal or Dougal or Daughtry?
And she's the
Playboy
Karen
bunny, right?
McDougal, something
Yeah,
like that.
she's the Playboy bunny.
Huh?
And now we have, no pun intended, bring it right full circle, a former Playboy bunny as the judge. You can't write this stuff. You can't make it up.
Let's go back to Rudy.
Okay, let's go back there.
Who brought Rudy in? Was that Sekulow? You think that was his idea?
Jay Sekulow?
I mean, he's head of the legal team. He's got to surround himself with some people. He's had some attrition there.
Could it be?
Well, supposedly Rudy said we're going to wrap this thing up in a couple weeks. Is that?
I mean, he worked at the DOJ with Mueller.
Yeah,
Right.
but he said he was only going to be.
friends.
He's only going to be,
He's going to be narrow in scope.
Yeah, and,
Right?
in a very short period of engagement.
I think Rudy will. I mean, I always like to go out there and guess what the phone conversation is. I think Rudy is the guy that will call Robert up. Robert,
Let's have a martini.
Robert, we're going to talk about, are you going to spend the next 2 years talking to porn stars and Playboy bunnies and reading memos that you and I now hey, look, I took the crime families of New York to court. I know wiretaps. I know what innuendos mean. You know what I mean? Because they had the two mob families. People don't pay attention. They got the two mob families. And, one guy calls the other guy and says, hey, what do you have? And, well, I'm going to have fish. I'd rather do that than sleep with him. Oh, that means to axe the guy, right? What I'm saying is Rudy knows all this, and he knows there's no
Watching
collusion.
too many movies.
Yeah, but it's two tracks here. I mean, because, Robert Mueller is not going to really have much to do with what the Southern District attorney does.
I agree with that.
Yeah. And, I mean, going back to your point, Southern District has always been spotlight searching, attorney generals. They had
I
that
agree with
Indian
that.
guy before, something or other.
Right.
Now they got, maybe it's the New York Attorney General, Schneiderman.
Right.
And they're always looking to be in the spotlight.
You know what, though? There's another side of this thing. They bring in Rudy. That was the glitz. But if you dig down, there were two more hires. Do you know who they are?
Yeah, no.
Marty and Jane Raskin.
Right, okay. Yes,
They're a husband and wife lawyer team that spends the majority of their time as litigators in the courtroom. And what do? This may tell us where this thing's going. They defend white-collar crime and public officials. That's, I think, the substance behind the little triangle hire. They hired 3 people.
All right. I've gotten all around this, so I want to stay focused. I want to take what you said. Where is this going? Where do you think this is going? Both of you. Where do you think this is going?
Which one are you referring to?
Yeah.
You're talking about the Cohen? You're talking about Mueller?
Let's go with Mueller, the investigation, bringing Rudy in, bringing the other two Raskins in. Where is this going?
I think the Mueller investigation is going to be wrapped up soon. I don't think he's got much more, yardage to cover. So I think that's going to wrap up sooner rather than later. The Cohen thing, that could go on for a while. I mean, even with Rudy there, I just don't think he's going to get that deep into Cohen's deal, because that basically is just out of the gates right now. So it's going to be a while, in my opinion.
What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree with Bruce. I think Rudy came in as maybe to give Mueller some cover. He's got to have
open that up
something
a
there.
little bit. What do you mean give him some?
Well, he's spending money like a drunken sailor with all the attorneys that he's hired, and they won't even talk about how much it's costing. And I mean, he needs to come away with something. So he needs to come away not looking like he's been besmirched. So they bring in an old buddy, Rudy, and they get together and they drip blood over the candle and kumbaya, and it's all good at the end of the day.
All right, all right. Let me say this and see if I'm anywhere near what you're saying right now. Are we at the point with the investigation where Mueller saves face? Says to the American people, there was a reason I was really called in, and here are my 5 low-level crimes in the investigation. Are we at that point? Because they always have to justify their existence.
Exactly.
I think we're close to that point. I think we're close.
The American people are not paying attention, in my opinion.
Of course they're not.
They're
No.
not. I mean, I don't think we have in-depth...
One of the reasons is they're tired of it.
I don't think we're up to 10% of people who pay attention to this that deep, okay? I like what Rush says. He says there's the America that's gone off to work. You've heard him,
Yep.
right? I like what Rush says on that. There's the America that went off to work, And they're like, let me not get sidetracked on that, because Kenneth Starr, and if we go down all of the special counsels appointed in the past, the American people do find out they spent $100 million. Let's just say that, okay? Mm-hmm. They find out they spent $100 million, and then they find out, what did we get for $100 million? So there starts what I call the justification phase. Are you with me?
Yeah, that was my point, yeah.
Do you think that's where we're at, that Rudy and Robert are going to work through the justification phase, meaning, okay, we're going to indict this person for this, this, and this. There's no obstruction. There's no collusion, period. That's my done deal. Rudy probably calls him and says, look, you know, that's a done deal.
But remember, Ken Starr ended up with the blue dress.
Yeah, so, but maybe there's a campaign finance that you feel Cohen got money. Maybe it's a campaign finance. So let's do a misdemeanor campaign finance thing on Cohen and give him 20 years, and the president's going to
for a misdemeanor. Whoa!
No, I'm just saying. You know, maybe it's time. Like, okay, the Stormy Daniels got 140,000. We're convinced of that. Let's call it a camp. Or is that where we're at, starting to piece in?
Do we all agree that Mueller's part of the deep state?
Yes.
Was he not the distraction du jour, if you will?
Distraction du jour?
Yeah, the distraction of the day. How do we keep the distraction going through Trump's entire administration time in office?
Mueller.
Well, if Mueller drops down, what's going to be the next distraction? There will be another one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Distraction of the day, because they are determined that
to take him down.
Take him down. That is you're exactly right. So what is so you're saying if in 2 weeks Mueller comes out, has a report, and he starts indicting low-level people, Papadopoulos and this one and that.
Carter Page, Manafort.
Yeah, it starts throwing some stuff like that. Tony Podesta.
Tony Podesta.
Yeah, I'm just hoping. I gotta get home.
You went way afield
Tony
there.
And John.
Yeah, right.
Off
you
the
don't want to
rails.
go down that rabbit hole.
So anyhow, so you're saying then what will they flip as a distraction of the?
Yeah, there's going to be. I mean, the deep state will continue to try to distract and tear down and try to be the main focus of the news. So it takes away from all of the accomplishments of Trump's administration, and there are so many.
Yeah, you know, one could be the Kushner. The Kushner companies just got subpoenaed for falsifying some information on their permits or something like that. That could be the next distraction.
Yeah, I mean, there could be.
Jared's got to go.
Boy, you haven't heard about him lately. He lost a little power, with the.
I don't know that he lost the power.
Well, they took away his ability.
Yeah, I understand that, but
the clearances,
I don't
right?
think the loss of power changed things. I think the media myself has like a chalkboard, and Russia is this one. Stormy Daniels is over here, and they pick the distraction of the day that runs. And right now, Jared
distraction du jour.
Yeah,
du jour.
Du jour.
Yeah. Don't say that. I told you my ADD. Distraction du jour. What is that? It's like double D's. What is that? It's Stormy Daniels. I can't help it. Oh my God. I can't. You knew where I was going, right?
Double D's.
I can't help it. God, you know those buttons were screaming.
God
double D's. Is that Dumb and Dumber? Is that what that means?
Listen, you could sit over there all innocent. But yesterday when I said Anderson Cooper, the only thing he had to be thinking, my God, those poor buttons, right? You agreed, didn't you?
Yeah.
See?
Got it. There you go.
Anyhow, let's go back to the distraction of the day. That would not be me. I can't tell you. I can't tell you. So, all right, let's go. No.
Here.
Focus. So you think it's time he's going to start going at maybe Kushner companies? Are going to be some things.
Yeah.
I mean, you could pick 15 different ones probably, and
Yeah, and the timing could be interesting here. That Mueller might stay on longer so he gets closer to the midterms. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well, the intent is to keep something going completely up to the midterms.
Yeah, because the Democrats don't have anything to run on except crumbs.
Right. One more thing, and we want to switch because I want to talk about Mount Rushmore.
You get your carving tools ready?
Yeah, I want to talk about Mount Rushmore. I want to talk about them parachuting in Mike Pompeo into North Korea in the dark of night, and the media's gone berserk over it.
Just don't sit near the window. All right.
The bullet train, 17.5 mile an hour. Pompeo says, you do know we have been able to track that train.
That's right.
Did he fly in?
Huh?
Did he fly in?
No, they probably. If you watch the media, they want you to believe he went all by himself.
All by himself, yeah.
Jumped out of a plane.
Oh,
tucked and rolled. Had to tuck and roll when he hit the ground.
Yeah, he did the Mannix roll.
No, am I wrong?
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
They have yet to say MSNBC, Joe Scarborough, right, and Minka, they're off this week. Why are they off this week?
She may be having some more work.
We'll go there in a minute.
They could be trying to duplicate the visit to North Korea.
We'll go there in a minute. Why do I think Joe and Minka are off this week? Because some of this stuff is breaking, and it's flipping the switch, and I don't think they want to be there to report it because they're leaving it up to little Willie.
Yeah, that could be.
I don't think they want to be there to start reporting some of this stuff. I mean, what did little Willie do
Willie.
for...
Is that Willie Geist?
Willie, whatever the hell his name is.
What are you talking about?
That big, tall drink of water, another pencil neck geek.
Little Willie, whatever his name is, and Casey Hunt or whoever, they got it, whoever they are. This morning, the only thing they got out of the memo was talking about hookers. All right, what the hell? Oh, excuse me, it is Friday. I'm not supposed to say that on Friday.
That's right.
But hookers is all and I'm like, is that what you're talking? So I don't think they want to be there for things to flip. So let's go, before we do the parachuting, Pompeo, and not once, I knew there was something I wanted to bring up. Not once in the week did you hear any of these lefties say advanced team. Anytime the President of the United States goes abroad and meets, I don't even care if he's meeting with Theresa May in England.
And there's an advanced team that goes in.
Right?
Yeah.
Not one news report said the advanced team for the upcoming meeting.
Who's the logical one to go? The Secretary of State-elect.
But you do not see this morning any news on advanced teams going anywhere in the world. We did not hear the news. Damn it, I knew I'd get worked up. When he went over there to
Serenity now.
when he went over there to see the prince, over there in Saudi Arabia,
Yeah.
when he went over there, rolled out a red carpet, did the news tell you about the advanced team that went? No. Right? But we know the advanced team went over there, right? So when he went to China. When he went to China,
Beautiful,
to ask them,
beautiful China.
to ask them, hey, by the way, your currency, and who's on the front? All right? When he went to China, did they say anything about the advanced team? A communist country like that? Right? Not a word, right?
No, because there's no glamour to an advanced team.
Right, exactly.
There's no sizzle.
Let's get back to Comey because we want to get to that, and I got sidetracked.
We got to talk about Pompeo, too, in the second half.
We are. I just brought it up. Where
Good.
were you?
Coming in on the shoot.
All right, settle down. All right, listen. Comey, the memos. Is this guy like the biggest disgrace?
The memo or the book?
No, I don't want to care about the book. The memo that just was released, that he wrote. Did you see those?
Yeah.
I don't
With the
know.
redactions in it?
Yes.
The one that they subpoenaed.
Yes.
And that the one that they released last night.
Would these be the memos that he wrote after he met with Donald Trump? Would they be the memos that he sent to the Colombian professor?
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah. He hung himself out to dry, too.
So are we looking at Comey releasing classified information? No wonder Hillary
It
didn't
says right at the bottom, classified.
No wonder Hillary didn't get indicted for releasing classified information because we find out the FBI director didn't even know what the hell classified information
Well,
is.
I mean, it's a rolling ball of snakes, isn't it?
Oh, my God. And did...
That's a heck of a visual. A rolling ball of snakes.
well, let us, when they...
nothing was said.
Anyway.
Nothing was said in that meeting. Nothing was said. Nothing was said that was... I mean, he did talk about Flynn, but he admits in the memo that Trump didn't really ask him to go do anything.
Trump didn't really ask him for his undivided loyalty.
Right. And he told Trump, he said, I'm not a weasel. I am loyal, honest, truthful, or whatever, and I'm not a weasel. As we soon find out. But what say you with this? I mean, here's where I think, and I'm going to give it to you, all right? I want you to just go with what. Here's what I think and hope. I think we're at that point, right there. And now from here on out, it flips. And there's where Rudy is, and some of the team, Jay Suckle, I think it flips. I hope that we're at the point where a criminal investigation is going to be done on James Comey. A criminal investigation is going to be opened back up, that we're going to see these people knock off. You do have a handful of the good people in D.C. that this is wrong. And that's what I'm hoping.
It's interesting to watch the dynamics, too, with the four. The Lynch, McCabe, Rosenstein,
yes,
Comey. They're all pointing fingers at each other.
Yes.
Have you noticed that?
Yes.
They're all throwing each other under the bus. And who's going to be the last person standing, I don't know.
Well, and I think the DNC is working overtime to come up with a plot line for all this, to make everybody that you just mentioned look good.
Boy.
You know they're going to do that, and you know the mainstream media is going to back it.
Did you see Pelosi's tweet about the Comey memo? I mean, it was just, she's really got to be brain dead. Sorry. I mean, she just...
That wasn't very nice.
And it wasn't very nice, but it was pretty darn close to accurate. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, if you got her, what are they going to run on?
Brain dead, Pelosi.
Well, I'm convinced, years ago the Botox missed and it went right to the brain.
Botox missed, brain dead. I think we ought to do her cognitive functions and see what's up with her. Let's take a brief break. Let's come back. Let's talk about Mike Pompeo going to North Korea. Let's talk about the upcoming meeting with Trump in North Korea. Let's talk about the visit with the president of Japan. And then whatever you guys want to talk about.
I'd like to come back also with a point that Bruce made the other day. We were talking about Rosenstein's wife. Have you ever seen her bio?
Lisa Barsumian.
You have got.
That's why I can't pronounce Barsumian. Who is
You
it?
just did.
I know that was an accident, right?
I mean, I've got a list.
Barsumian. What you got his bio?
I brought it based on what he said. I went and pulled up some research this morning that will shock you.
You talk about deep state. Oh boy.
You talk about deep state. You talk about CIA ties. You talk about all of a sudden everything that she's done in the past has been swooped up and destroyed. No one can find it anymore. We'll come back and talk about that a little bit if you want to.
The day we dropped Lisa Barsumian on you.
Yeah.
Wow. Right after these messages, folks.